Um, right around 2007 or 2008, while I was living and working between Los Angeles and Vancouver, some very, very good friends of mine, Dr. Don Ricks and Laurie McRae and Neil McRae, they came to me, their film guy, and they said, hey, I was probably their only film guy they knew at the time, so, it's kind of by default. A friend of mine has written a script. Would you read it? One of the doctors that worked for them. I said, yeah, sure, I would be happy to do that. And so the reason they had a doctor working for them is they own laboratories and medical testing. And so I said, of course, I'd be happy to read it. And I would have done anything for them. They're just fabulous, fabulous people. And I usually expect when people give me scripts from their friends, they're not going to be really all that good, right? But I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to read it. And I realized that I could gently, in a very Canadian way, say, I don't think this is going to go very far, right? But I was happy to read it. Well, to my amazement and glee, if you will, the story was really good. I liked the story, and I said I'd be happy to help. So fast forward a few years later, the Ricks McRae family have agreed to partially fund this film, and over the course of several years, we were able to cobble together, the rest of the, approximately $2 million, which is not a lot, to make this film that would ultimately become Decoding Annie Parker. Now, what was even more impressive to me than just cobbling together the money, was that there were actors and crew that lined up to come on board to this project of our little film. And it really spoke volumes about what they thought about the story, but also, in turn, and by extension, what they thought about Ann Parker. Oscar and Golden Globe Emmy winner Helen Hunt, Oscar Emmy nominee Samantha Morton, Rashida Jones, Tony and Globe winner Corey Stoll, Maggie Grace from Lost, Ben McKenzie from Gotham, Bradley Whitford and Richard Schiff, both Emmy winners from The West Wing, Alice Eve, Bob Gunton, and so many others. But why did they sign up for this film? It certainly wasn't the paycheck, I can tell you that for sure. And in my humble opinion, it was Annie Parker. Yes, there was a great parallel science story with Dr. Mary Claire King and the discovery of the BRCA gene, but it was really Anne's personal struggle, her determination that they connected with. The regular person with very little education who knew that there was something stalking her family, killing her family. And it was more than just bad luck, as many of the doctors said back then. And all of these actors had their own stories to tell, their own cancer stories, cancer in their lives, the lives around them, and that's why they connected with Anne's story. I've met very few people in either my personal or professional world who have had a more profound effect on my life than Ann Parker. I've met very few people with more courage, more strength, more very stubborn determination than Ann Parker. And as Helen Hunt says in the film, and why we are all here today, you are a remarkable woman, Ann Parker.